Greetings, friends of the blue and white team. Caleb Holt will visit Kentucky basketball this weekend. Will he sign? Is there a good chance? Hopefully Pope can get the recruit in the door. Let's analyze the news. Caleb Holt's arrival on the Kentucky basketball campus this weekend promises to be one of the most significant moments for the program in recent weeks. With the college basketball season approaching, fall visits have become important in recruiting, and Mark Pope knows this better than anyone. The Wildcats coach has a challenging task ahead, attracting one of the most coveted prospects in the 2026 class. A player already attracting interest from virtually every major program in the country, Caleb Holt isn't just another name on the recruiting list. He's a five-star point guard with traits that make him a lethal weapon on the court. His playmaking ability, vision, and defensive dominance place him among the top 10 players in his class. According to the 247 Sports Composite rankings, currently represented by Prolific Prep, one of the most renowned prep schools in the United States, Holt has already proven he has what it takes to shine at the college level, and, who knows, even in the professional ranks. What makes this visit even more crucial for Kentucky is the fierce competition the program faces. Universities like Alabama, Auburn, and Arkansas are vying for this young talent, and each has strong arguments to convince him. Regional connections are certainly a factor, especially when it comes to in-state schools. Furthermore, Arkansas, with Calipari's iconic name in college basketball, has also entered the race, which adds another layer of difficulty for the Wildcats. However, Kentucky has something special to offer, and it starts with Mark Pope's vision. Since taking over the program, Pope has worked tirelessly to restore Kentucky's prestige as a national powerhouse. His modern style of play, combined with a clear focus on the individual development of his players, has been a significant differentiator. For a player like Caleb Holt, who seeks not only victories but also to hone his skills to reach the next level, Pope's project may sound like music to the ears. Furthermore, Lexington's unique environment plays a key role. Group Arena, with its electric atmosphere and BBN's unwavering passion, is one of Kentucky's greatest assets. It's no secret that elite players thrive under bright lights, and few places in the country offer an experience as immersive as playing in front of a Wildcats home crowd. Holt will have the opportunity to experience this firsthand during his visit, and this immersion could be decisive in tipping the scales in Kentucky's favor. This visit also marks the beginning of a new phase in Mark Pope's recruitment. Although he inherited a program with high standards and equally high expectations, Pope is showing his determination to build something lasting. Securing a commitment from a player like Caleb Holt would be a monumental step in that direction, not only because of the point guard's individual talent, but also because of the signal it would send to the market. Kentucky is back at the top of the list of desired destinations for the country's top prospects. Of course, nothing will be easy. The battle for Caleb Holt's future will be long and full of well-developed strategies from all the universities involved. However, the mere fact that he is willing to visit Lexington is already an early victory for Kentucky. It demonstrates that the program remains a respected and relevant force, capable of attracting the attention of the best high school players. As the Wildcats community eagerly awaits the next chapters in this story, one thing is certain: this weekend will be a turning point. If Mark Pope and his staff can make a positive impression on Caleb Holt, they will be taking a significant step forward in their recruitment. If Bleacher Report's latest projections are accurate, Kentucky basketball could be poised for one of its most promising seasons in recent years. Respected analyst Jonathan Wasserman published his 2026 NBA mock draft update and placed 3 Wildcats players among the 60 players expected to be called at the event, including a projected top 5 pick. For a program that has always prided itself on being one of the league's biggest talent pools, this news reinforces confidence in Mark Pope's work and the construction of his roster. The standout, as expected, is Jaden Quainons. Even though he's still recovering from a torn ACL, the forward is a near-guaranteed lottery pick. Bleacher Report projects him as the 4th pick, something that's no coincidence. Just remember, Quainons only turned 18 in July and is already being touted as an immediately impactful talent for the professional level. If he lives up to these expectations, it will be not only an individual triumph but also a reflection of the program's ability to develop young athletes to a high level of competition. Com Williams is another name on the list, and his projection could be a game-changer for Kentucky's campaign. The former Tulane guard is ranked 38th, but what's striking is the potential behind that ranking. If he can perform as a true 3-on-D specialist, increasing his contributions on both ends of the court, it would represent not only an individual leap but also a considerable increase in the team's ceiling. On a deep roster, his development would be the kind of detail capable of transforming a good team into a legitimate contender for a deep run in March. Otega Owe, meanwhile, returns for his senior season with the clear mission of cementing his reputation. After being a standout performer and making the All-Sec second team in 2024-25, he is ranked 57th in the mock draft, projected as a late second-round pick. But his decision to remain at Kentucky was no accident. Owe wants to prove he can expand his repertoire and become more well-rounded in the eyes of NBA scouts, he arrives as a strong candidate for the SEC Preseason Player of the Year award. And if he reaches that level, he will increase not only his draft value but also the strength of the group led by Pope. These three names, taken together, reflect more than just roster positions. They symbolize the moment Kentucky is experiencing under Mark Pope, a program that blends promising youth, committed veterans, and a clear developmental identity. It's no exaggeration to say that, if Wasserman is correct, the 2025-26 Kentucky team will not only have a real chance of competing in the SEC and the NCAA tournament, but also of reaffirming its tradition as a talent factory for the NBA. This kind of projection, albeit early, injects enthusiasm into Lexington and shows that the work recently begun can bear immediate fruit. Kentucky fans know that it's not just about results in March, but also about preparing their players for the next level. And right now, few schools seem as well positioned in this balancing act as Mark Pope's Wildcats. Coach Mark Stoops is once again in the spotlight, bearing the weight of a challenging season, but also calling it a memorable victory against the Ole Miss Rebels last season. That victory, one of the rare highlights of a difficult year for the Cats, continues to resonate, especially in the mind of opposing coach Lane Kiffin, who recently admitted that the loss to Kentucky still haunts him. As Saturday's matchup at Kroger Field approaches, the narrative of this matchup takes on of redemption, rivalry, and an opportunity for the Wildcats to reignite their SEC spark. In the last meeting between Kentucky and Ole Miss, the Wildcats delivered a performance that defied expectations. In a game marked by bold decisions and moments of pure tension, Mark Stoops demonstrated his tactical astuteness by opting for a 4th-down 7-yard play late in the game. The gamble, which many might call risky, paid off with a 63-yard pass from Brock Vandegrift to Barian Brown, paving the way for the game-winning touchdown. For Ole Miss, the game was a roller coaster of mistakes, culminating in a missed 48-yard field goal in the final seconds that could have forced a tie. Lane Kiffin, known for his aggressive, attacking style, didn't hide his frustration. It was horrible in every aspect, he said at a recent press conference. Reflecting on how the game slipped away from the Rebels' grasp despite them being in a position to win, Kentucky's victory, while a one-off in a season with only 2 wins, was a testament to Stoops' resilience and ability to bring out the best in his team at crucial moments. The Wildcats coach, now in his 13th year at the helm, has built a reputation for consistency and strategic intelligence, even in the face of adversity. His decision to take a risk on 4th down not only caught Kiffin off guard, but also sparked a good-natured exchange between the two coaches this offseason. Kiffin, with his characteristic sarcasm, joked that Stoops probably never done that in his life, while the Kentucky coach responded calmly, emphasizing that Ole Miss's aggressive style is a constant, regardless of the opponent. They try to score every time they have the ball. It's up to us to stop them, Stoops said, with the confidence of someone who knows his team can surprise again. This Saturday, Kroger Field will host another chapter in this rivalry, which has proven incredibly close. In the last 4 meetings, the score difference has never exceeded 3 points, with the 2020 game decided in overtime. For Kentucky, this matchup carries extra weight. Since their victory against LSU in 2021, the Wildcats have struggled at home against SEC opponents, boasting a 2-11 record and a 7-game losing streak. Fans, who have vowed to transform the stadium into a sea of blue and white, are eager for a comeback. The Blue and White Game Initiative, with fans wearing specific colors depending on their section of the stadium, adds a touch of unity and energy to the atmosphere. Especially with the forecast for perfect football weather. For Ole Miss, the motivation is clear: revenge. After a crushing 63-7 victory against Georgia State, the Rebels arrive in Lexington as 2-point favorites, with Kiffin determined to erase the memory of last year's loss. The coach spent the offseason analyzing what went wrong, and his words suggest a team focused on avoiding the same mistakes. "We've spent a lot of time with these guys," he said, referring to the preparation work for the matchup. However, Kentucky, coming off a solid 24-16 victory against Toledo, isn't about to give up easily. Stoops, with his pragmatic approach, insists the focus is on the present. "I don't think about the losing streak," he said, emphasizing the importance of focusing on the game at hand. Recent history suggests this matchup will be decided by the details. Kentucky's ability to capitalize on crucial moments, as it did last year, will be tested against an Ole Miss team that promises to come out swinging. For the Wildcats, a victory would be more than a positive result. It would be a sign that the program is ready to excel with high expectations for this year. Comment.